Yo, today I want to share my thoughts about how perspective of life, or the way I choose to see my life and events in it, can change my feeling about what I'm having, just by changing the perception and from moaning to being grateful, to have the experience and to be able to experience that whatever I'm experiencing at the given moment can either drain me and start killing me, or it can boost me to do more stuff in my life, to be excited. One of the things I've noticed about my life was that it doesn't matter how much money I would make a month. Is it like 3,000, 4,000, 2,000, or like 300? I'm still as miserable or as happy, and like that has no impact on the way I feel about the life. And usually by the end of the month it would be zero on the account anyways. And then I was thinking about my mother, who was working sometimes 2-3 jobs just to pay the bills, and still had to think twice before, or even would not be able to afford to buy milk for me. And I know that it was hard for her to be in that position. But I know that she loved me, and she's done the best of what she understood and the way she understood life. And I saw her as a happy person who had friends around her who care about her, and friends who she would be meeting almost every weekend. And now I met people who are making thousands, have their own businesses, and a lot of money, where they can't afford to be happy, where happiness is understood by using drugs, alcohol, and that's just substances which helps us disconnect from ourselves, or at least that's the way I see them now. First experience of that was when I was working in London, or in UK, and I was working about 16 hours a day, and it would be like 8-hour shifts one place, then train or car about 1 or 2 hours to get to another object, and then again like 5 to 8 hours work and going back home, sleep a few hours and going back to work. The job was not easy. I had to wear a mask because I had to work with asbestos. And I was really angry on myself, and I was not happy with the situation I was having. And then I was speaking with one of my workmates who was Brazilian, and he started asking me questions like, right, so you don't like the job? I was like, yeah, I hate it. But this is the job which you chose to do and you're not forced to do. Like, yeah, that's right. And then the job was paying for, at that time I was working to make money to pay for my wedding. I like to live the way I lived in UK. Like, so the work I'm doing, he asked me, like, the work you're doing is basically paying for the life you have and for your wedding, which you're gonna have in the summertime. Like, yeah. And he just kind of pointed out that I can be grateful for having this job and being able to do it, that I'm healthy enough to do it, that I have it, and my targets are achievable because I have this opportunity. But instead of that, I was choosing to be a little wimp and cry about it, moan about it. It was first time someone helped me to see a different perspective. Now, every time something happens in my life, I understand that happens for a reason. Even though some painful situations are harder to manage, I understand that they happen in time for me to be able to get to another step. And usually when the situation happens, whatever it can be, like a car broke down, or I missed a bus, or I missed a flight, I understand that I'm too small. I'm just a human, and I can't see the whole picture at this given moment. So I need to wait maybe a day, maybe a week, maybe a year, just to understand why that situation happened and where that situation leads me to. And the more I look in life in this way, that the answers which I get is not what I expected, is the right answer which I needed. Even though at the given moment I don't understand why I needed to hear this, or why the answer is not right in my head, I understand that the next step, or 5 steps later, I will understand why I got exactly that answer. And now I lived about 6 months back in Lithuania without working. Did travel for about 1.5 months. And I've noticed myself that kind of started being entitled for everything I have and taken as a granted. And my life kind of stopped straight away. I started feeling, not straight away, but it got me into a position where I had to make decisions and start moving, because for like few weeks or a month I felt entitled into everything I had, and I expected that as normal. That's that I think happens in life when we kind of take stuff, people, work, money, health for granted, and we don't appreciate it. We don't look back as, like, if we're seeing someone for 3 years, like we don't buy flowers, or we don't go on date nights. We don't look to the person into the eyes and just to appreciate the moment that person is choosing to come back here for 3 years now. It's not they have to do it. They can choose to go away. And when that happens, we kind of lose the taste of life, because everything is for granted, and I need more. And that's how human nature works. You have a flat, you need a house. You have a BMW, you need a Ferrari. And it's never enough. And that's fine if that comes from growth perspective. But it's not good. It's like it's hurting us if it comes from pain perspective, where we think that if we're gonna drive a Ferrari or if we're gonna drive a BMW, we're gonna feel way better about ourselves or about our life, and our life is gonna improve just by having some more expensive toys. But we never think that the BMW or whatever car I'm driving at the given moment is the dream of someone, or even about like a dream of me a year ago. And we don't appreciate that stuff. We don't appreciate. So basically, just by changing the perspective and thinking about being able to see, to move, because that's not for granted. Like any one of us can get into the car accident, or whatever's gonna happen in the next 5 minutes can change life forever. So we should appreciate the given moment and enjoy it more, which is gonna give us strength and power, but by doing it in an easy way without forcing it, we can achieve all the stuff, all the cars and all the money, if that's really what our heart wants. I actually looked into Paris Hilton documentaries, and when that was recommended to me, I was like, why would I look into someone like that? Because like, I'm definitely not interested into some stars and stuff, like any of those influencers. They kind of, I'm not bothered the way they live. I'm quite happy with the way I live my life. It's interesting enough. I have stuff to think about. I don't have time to talk about how other people do their life. And after watching the documentaries, I felt sad for her, because what I saw in there was pain. All the millions and all the targets which she had in mind when she was a teenager, she did achieve, and the person is still lonely because she can't trust people. She has a certain type of lifestyle which if it's gonna change, it's gonna be very shocking and hard to accept. And that should be frustrating. If the lifestyle which on the outside looks posh, as something to strive for, money, fame, which a lot of people want to have, a lot of people don't really understand the price of it. That you can't have any private life, you can't have a nice meal in a local restaurant with your friend without paparazzi being in your face. And when I heard her story, I was like, for me, I wouldn't change my life for what she has, because money and the outside decorations do not tell nothing about me. That's not a reflection of me. Before I would be very into thinking a few times about how it's gonna look, how I'm gonna feel, like what people gonna think about my car, my looks, basically depending on the opinion of others. And when I understood that a lot of people kinda live their life without living their life, just by thinking what others are thinking about them when others are thinking the same exactly about them. And it's just basically a maze where I think a lot of people are stuck. So I choose to live my life the way I feel to live, look the way I feel to look, and talk the way I feel to talk. And whoever needs to be in my life, they're gonna be in my life. And whoever is not comfortable with the way I am, or that doesn't resonate with their lifestyle, that's completely fine, because I don't seek to be accepted. I seek to be myself. And then, in my experience, the more I am myself, the more right people comes into my life who do resonate with me, who do understand what I'm talking about. And then everyone is happy, because everyone is accepted for the way they are and not the way they choose to act in front of me. That's actually a very big freedom and value to have in my life. That's it for now. Have a great day.